Hi there. My name is Allison Crady, and I recently wrote an article called 10 Ways the Artist Way Renewed My Creativity and Life. The Better Advice publication recently published it, and I'm going to read it for you today and may or may not add some commentary. So, the subtitle, number 4, I handle criticism well. First, you see a photo of me at this desk holding The Artist Way. It's a bit posed, and I'm happy with how it turned out. Walking through my neighborhood, I noticed an old, artsy-looking red book laying out for anyone to take. Skimming the pages, I noticed an accomplished female author had written it. I saw passages on anger, jealousy, and abundance. I took the book. I'm a determined, proactive, and goal-oriented type of person, yet I'd been feeling anxious regularly. I was burning out at my prestigious tech job. On paper, my career plans were coming along beautifully. I knew something was wrong, but what exactly was I winning? I was thinking. Somewhere along the way, I lost touch with my intuition. Like so many in our productivity-obsessed culture, I sometimes thought of myself as a well-oiled machine, glorifying efficiency. I recall stumbling onto the Artist Way book as a synchronous moment. I had no idea how much I needed it. Many well-known artists, such as Tim Ferriss and Elizabeth Gilbert, rave about the Artist Way. Before writing the book, Julia Cameron spent over 10 years teaching a spiritual workshop to help people free their creativity. Then she made this 12-week plan for anyone interested in the art of creative living. 8 months later, I'm rediscovering my passion for writing, clearly, sharing life-changing stories. I'm making more aligned choices in work, home environment, and relationships. Most importantly, I've been showing up every day with a process I love. Here are 10 ways my creativity and life have been renewed through the Artist Way. Number 1, I learned to use my anger. I grew up in a traditional Christian environment where women are considered inferior. As a result, I grew up being nice, stuffing aside unpleasant feelings. Actually, anger provides a map, and it's a sign of good health. Sloth, apathy, and despair are the enemy, but anger is a very, very loyal friend. It will always tell us that it is time to act in our own best interest. Anger is action's invitation, wrote Julia Cameron. Now I've learned to metabolize anger through writing, making music, and other creative projects. I value the gift of clarity my anger brings. Similarly, I act on jealousy. Like nearly everyone alive, I experience jealousy from time to time. This complex emotion used to cause self-doubt. It still does a little bit. Why can't I be more awesome like her, I would think. Actually, jealousy provides additional clarity. When we believe there is room for everyone's dreams, we can open to this unpleasant feeling. Now I continuously return to this jealousy map from the Artist Way book. Number 1, write the name of the person making you feel jealous. Number 2, explain why you feel jealous. Number 3, write a small way that you can take action today. This has already helped a lot. And number 3, I set emotional boundaries. As a child, adults in my life didn't teach me to set emotional boundaries. Without these boundaries, I played small to avoid more criticism. Through exercises on safety, I realized how many creative criticisms I had internalized. I sincerely believed something was wrong with me. Now, when I do something vulnerable, I decide who does and doesn't get to be in the loop. I draw a circle, put vulnerable topics into that circle. Then I proactively decide with whom I feel safe enough to share. Having these boundaries has played a critical role in sharing my first vulnerable article. Number 4, I handle criticism well. Helpful criticism helps us. We experience these aha moments. We feel empowered. Yet most criticism hurts. Here are the inherent characteristics of hurtful criticism. It's vague, personal, inaccurate, and shaming. I adopted Cameron's strategy for processing criticism, linked to that. I let myself feel the pain completely. I note the specific phrases that hurt or helped. I consider whether those phrases remind me of childhood shaming. This happens often. Then I write a response, which I don't intend to send, to the critic, sharing what was helpful, what wasn't, and defending my work. Mostly, I lovingly nurture myself so I can get back to creating, which is always the best cure. I feel more relaxed. Let yourself be an artist by removing the pressure to be a great artist, wrote Cameron. I took this to heart. Like many, I used to be my own worst critic, striving for perfection. The Artist Way journey taught me to create a process I love. With redesigning my wardrobe, expanding playtime, going on artist dates, and finally taking that dance class, my life has become much more fun. When our life is good, our art is good. And I reference an Elizabeth Gilbert TED Talk about releasing our artist ego. Definitely worth the time. Number 6, I revived my spirituality. Creativity is God's gift to us. Using our creativity is our gift back to God, writes Cameron. As recommended, I created an altar for daily prayer to remind myself that creativity is a spiritual journey. My new, grounded spiritual practice has become the foundation for my creativity. It's not about losing common sense in the name of faith. Spiritual faith looks more like praying to catch the bus than hauling ass to catch it. In my experience, and many others' experience, having faith allows me to relax into the process more. I can release dependency on vices and depend on a higher power instead. In this state of openness, I more easily see unexpected opportunities. Number 7, I feel more aligned in my creative work. Whatever you think or believe you can do, begin it. Action has magic, grace, and power in it, said Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Though I've created blogs in the past, I often struggle to share more vulnerable topics. Now, I know my best work comes from my deepest, often unpleasant emotions. Though I still struggle to hit submit or publish, sometimes sharing feels easier with practice. My creativity always leads me to truth and love, writes Cameron. Some of my favorite articles started with strong emotion and a vague idea of my key point. I try to let the art shine through my writing as much as possible. Number 8, I rediscovered my identity. Throughout my life, I've been a people pleaser. Growing up in a judgmental environment, I lost parts of myself. I shape-shifted as a coping mechanism. Through morning pages, a required Artist Way tool, which is daily stream of conscious journaling, I reconnect with myself. I own all the parts of myself, more easily asserting what I like or don't like. I handle complex situations or emotions with more ease. I've recently received feedback from multiple sources that I really know what I want in work relationships. I love that. I treat my creativity gently. I used to push myself quite a bit with workouts or professional projects. I spent a long time trying to prove myself, subconsciously, of course. The Artist Way has helped me to reconnect with compassion. Creativity is a spiral, spiritual process. Some weeks are high energy, others are less inspiring. The ups and downs are an essential part of the process. I accept that the ugly ducklings I create are a necessary part of the journey. I more easily rest when my body tells me to. And mostly, I don't agonize over the results. I just keep showing up. And number 10, I keep showing up. At yoga classes, the instructor often begins with, "You already did most of the work by showing up at your mat today." I used to roll my eyes, but now I understand this truth. Showing up to create isn't about having strong self-discipline. It's about making the process fun. I take breaks more often, go for walks, do yoga, light incense, plan trips. I create a nurturing, playful workspace. You can see there's actually a unicorn on my bed. Now I mostly feel excited when I sit down to write. I celebrate more often, letting myself indulge authentically. I do the work without judging it, for the most part, of course. And with pride, I'm creating a process I love. Closing thoughts. All the arts we practice are apprenticeship. The big art is our life, said M.C. Richards. This book, The Artist Way, has been a game changer for me. I feel more excited and optimistic about my life. I feel more in tune, authentic, and open to the process. I could not recommend this journey more highly. In our capitalist world that squashes creativity so early on, we really need books like The Artist Way. It's a funny thing about life. You refuse to accept anything but the best, you'll very often get it, said Somerset Maugham. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Leave comments if you want, and enjoy your day.